Hey, lifers. Today is the beginning of the fourth week of college football, and traditionally, this is when you start to see a whole lot more conference games, particularly with the Big Ten, which is, I believe, only played one conference game, and that was Ohio State and Indiana on a Thursday to open the season. Today, a lot of Big Ten teams start Big Ten play in earnest, and so I figured today would be a great opportunity to talk about the trophies of the Big Ten in their rivalry games. Now, the Big Ten is largely known for having a whole lot of rivalry trophies. In fact, when Nebraska came into the conference, it seemed like teams were scrambling to make trophies. So I figured I would do a quick little breakdown of the history of the trophies and of the team's records in rivalry games with the trophy. We're going to do these in alphabetical order of the trophies, so let's get started. The $5 Bits of Broken Chair trophy between Minnesota and Nebraska has only existed for 2 years, 2014 and 2015. They didn't play for it last year, but by all accounts, they are playing for it this year. So I'm technically cheating here because this trophy isn't officially endorsed by the schools, though again, that may be changing. It is awesome, and it is extremely stupid that it's not official. It began with a spat on Twitter between the accounts of Minnesota mascot Goldie Gopher and Faux Pelini, in which Faux Pelini said if Nebraska wins, he gets $5. If Minnesota wins, he gets to break a chair over Goldie's back. It was crowdfunded and made, with Minnesota winning it in 2014 and Nebraska winning it in 2015. Since then, it's disappeared, but supposedly will make a return in the 2017 game. This is, by, I believe, pretty much every account, the very first instance of a trophy coming from the internet. I think it's really fun, and I blame Nebraska because it seemed like Minnesota embraced this a whole lot more than the Cornhuskers did. Next up, we have the Floyd of Rosedale, Iowa versus Minnesota, and it's been played since 1935. In 1934, there was a pretty contentious game between these two in Minnesota's 48-12 win, particularly in Minnesota players trying to hurt Iowa running back Ozzie Simmons, who was African American. The next year, under the threat of a riot if it happened again, the governors of both states offered the top prize hog in the losing state to give to the winning governor. Minnesota won 13-6, and Simmons left the game uninjured. Iowa Governor Clyde Herring got a pig donated from Rosedale Farms in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and named it Floyd after Minnesota Governor Floyd Olson. Thus, Floyd of Rosedale. Knowing they couldn't trade the pigs forever, a 98-pound trophy replica of Floyd was made, and they've traded the trophies ever since. Minnesota leads the trophy series 42-38-2. The Freedom Trophy between Nebraska and Wisconsin has been played since 2014. These teams have only played 5 times before Nebraska joined the Big Ten in 2011. Before their matchup in 2014, the Freedom Trophy was created to honor those who have fought for this country. It chose both Wisconsin's Camp Randall Stadium and Nebraska's Memorial Stadium under a waving American flag. Wisconsin is 3-0 in the trophy series. The Governor's Victory Bell between Minnesota and Penn State has been played since 1993. And in 1993, Penn State officially joined the Big Ten, and what better way to commemorate that in the Big Ten than by making a trophy? This would be Penn State's first conference game, and a large bell was made, supported by wood with a plaque. Penn State leads the series 9-5. The Heartland Trophy between Iowa and Wisconsin has been played since 2004. The rivalry between Iowa and Wisconsin goes back into the 19th century, but the trophy first appeared in the 21st. After Iowa's 2004 30-7 win, they won the inaugural Heartland Trophy, a brass bull over plaques of the series results. Not too much history went into the trophy, just that they are both in the Heartland, I guess. Wisconsin leads the trophy series 6-5. The Heroes Trophy between Iowa and Nebraska has been played since 2011. A lot like the Freedom Trophy, this was created once Nebraska entered the Big Ten, though this started their first year in 2011. The Hawkeyes and the Cornhuskers actually have more history, though. They played 46 times, including several streaks decades long. The trophy series is tied at 3 apiece. The Eli Buck, Illinois versus Ohio State, has been played since 1925. The trophy actually began in 1925 with a live turtle, picked because turtles are known to live a very long time. The first game was on November 2nd, 1925, and the turtle died in April of 1926. Whoops. Since then, there have been 10 wooden turtles carved with the scores written on their back. Also, a liebuck just sounds really good. The two teams used to have members from a school smoke a peace pipe at halftime on the field, something that I think they should definitely bring back. Ohio State leads the trophy series 63-23-2. The land-grant trophy between Michigan State and Penn State has been played since 1993. Since both universities are set up by land grants, the trophy was introduced after Penn State's one-point win in 1993, their first in the Big Ten. It is interesting looking, with some replicas of statues on campus, as well as photos of prominent buildings, Penn State's Old Main and Michigan State's Beaumont Tower. While the series is tied 15-15-1, the trophy series is led by Penn State 13-6. The Land of Lincoln Trophy, Illinois versus Northwestern, since 2009. This trophy actually took over the Sweet Sioux Tomahawk that was first a cigar store wooden Native American, then a replica tomahawk, before the NCAA attempted to whitewash history in 2008. Both teams are in the Land of Lincoln in Illinois, so the new trophy was made of a bronze replica of Abraham Lincoln's hat above a plaque. Illinois led the series 33-29-2 during the Tomahawk. Northwestern leads 5-3 since 2009, meaning Illinois leads 36-34-2 in trophy games. The Little Brown Jug between Michigan and Minnesota has been played since 1903. The Little Brown Jug is the longest rotating trophy in college football. Okay, technically Arizona and Arizona State have battled for the Territorial Cup since the 1890s, but it didn't become official until 2001, so it doesn't really count. In 1903, Michigan coach Fielding Yost had led his team to a 28-game winning streak. Minnesota thought they could beat them. Late in the second half, Minnesota scored a touchdown to tie it at 6 apiece, and the fans broke into pandemonium, running onto the field and forcing officials to call the game. Earlier, Michigan was worried Minnesota fans would contaminate the team's water, so they brought their own to Minneapolis in a jug. During the Golden Gophers celebration, they left their jug behind. It made its way to Minnesota's athletic director, who had it painted brown and wrote the score on it. When they met again in 1909, it was decided it would be a nice tradition between the two. It's now painted half blue, half burgundy with the scores on it. Michigan leads the trophy series 70-23-3. The Old Brass Spittoon between Indiana and Michigan State has been played since 1950. This is probably one of the lesser-known trophy stories in the conference. As the story goes, a Michigan State grad named Gene McDermott brought the spittoon from a local shop as a good luck charm after upsetting number 15 Notre Dame. It worked, and Michigan State won 35-0. It's been played for ever since. Spartans lead the trophy series 46-12-1, not counting Sparty's 1995 forfeiture. The Old Oaken Bucket between Indiana and Purdue has been played since 1925. Now it's time for Indiana's more well-known trophy game. Established at a Chicago meeting between alums of the two schools, it was decided to be an oaken bucket, as that was considered, quote, the most typical Hoosier form of a trophy. All right? Every time a team wins, either a golden block letter P or I is added as a link in the chain. Back when there were ties, if these two teams tied, they would each get one. It's pretty sweet. Purdue leads the trophy series 58-41-3. Paul Bunyan's axe between Minnesota and Wisconsin has been played since 1948. From 1930 to 1943, the teams battled for the slab of bacon, a piece of black walnut wood with the M or W being reversible. It was lost during World War II, so they made Paul Bunyan's axe, with both teams listed on the axe and the scores carved into the 6-foot-long handle. The original one was retired after 2003, and a new axe was used starting in 2004. Wisconsin leads the axe series 42-24-3. The slab of bacon was found, by the way. In 1994, it was found by an intern in an old storage closet inside Camp Randall Stadium. It had scores up until 1970 on it, so someone knew about it during the time. It's now in Wisconsin football's offices. The Paul Bunyan Trophy between Michigan and Michigan State has been played since 1953. 1953 was Michigan State's first year as a Big Ten football member, and Michigan's governor created the trophy to commemorate. Michigan has a long history as a lumber state, so the trophy is a carving of Paul Bunyan on a 5-foot base. Initially, Michigan didn't want the trophy at all, and Michigan State didn't want it after a 1958 tie. Now it's a pretty wanted item. Michigan leads the trophy series 36-26-2. Last but not least, we have the Purdue Cannon. Illinois versus Purdue. It's been played since 1943. In 1905, Purdue students took a miniature cannon to Champaign in preparation for a celebratory win. Purdue won, but Illinois fans found it and turned it in before it could be fired. It was later proposed to be a trophy between these two in 1943. Purdue leads the trophy series 34-29-2. So there you guys have it. Those are all of the trophies that I've been able to find in the Big Ten, and a quick little blurb, a little synopsis about where the trophies came from, why they're titled that, and the series history between the two schools. Notably, if you look, I have all of the Big Ten helmets behind me, except for two, and that's the two newest teams in Maryland and Rutgers. Guys, if you really want to be accepted into the conference, you got to get a trophy rivalry game. What are you doing? Just have one between each other and it would count. Let me know down in the comment section what your favorite rivalry trophy is. I think that's pretty interesting. And do you think that the Big Ten has the best collection of trophies over all the other conferences? I can't imagine the answer is no. Make sure to let me know down below which of these rivalries is your favorite rivalry, because Michigan, Ohio State's not in here, so you can't use that as a cop-out. And most notably, let me know down below what your favorite actual rivalry trophy is, whether it's because of the way it looks, or the history behind it, or how it got its name, or how it originated, or whatever. Just let me know that down in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can click the circle right there in order to subscribe, or watch any of the other videos over there to the right that YouTube has suggested for you. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time. The team's records in rivalry games with the trophy. We're going to do these in alphabetical order of the trophies, so let's get started. The $5 Bits of Broken Chair trophy between Minnesota and Nebraska has only existed for 2 years. 24 is largely known for having a whole lot of rivalry trophies. In fact, when Nebraska came into the conference, it seemed like teams were scrambling to make trophies. So I figured I would do a quick little breakdown of the history of the trophies and of the Indiana on a Thursday to open the season. Today, a lot of Big Ten teams start Big Ten play in earnest, and so I figured today would be a great opportunity to talk about the trophies of the Big Ten in their rivalry games. Now, the Big Ten is... Hey, Lifers! Today is the beginning of the 4th week of college football, and traditionally this is when you start to see a whole lot more conference games, particularly with the Big Ten, which is, I believe, only played one conference game, and that was Ohio State 14 in 2015. They didn't play for it last year, but by all accounts, they are playing for it this year. So I'm technically cheating here because this trophy isn't officially endorsed by the schools, though again, that may be changing. It is awesome, and it is extremely